Hi there, today we're looking at some really great stuff from Elgato, which is a brand of Corsair. So the first of these is the Elgato Wave 3 microphone. Now you might be wondering, how are you picking up my voice? There's no headphones on. Well, the answer is I have this microphone here on a boom arm. So this is the Elgato Wave 3 microphone. It's a very serious bit of kit, very industrial, strong, solid, wave condensing, cardioid pickup, gain, shock controls, but also it has this awesome arm separately. With the product you get a very solid, robust desktop stand, but separately you can also buy the arm. In fact, there's also a low profile arm, so I have mine over my monitor as you can see, but you can also get a low profile arm which goes under your monitor, so depending on the type of desk you have. Very easy touch controls, can mute it, can change inputs, you can have headphones plugged into it to monitor yourself. Anyways, there's a lot you could say about the Elgato Wave 3, but part of what makes it awesome is not only that it's a great microphone, but that it comes with this Wavelink software you can see here. So you can see me talking. This is the Elgato Wave 3. This software allows you to mix a number of different inputs to create a new output device, a new input device rather. So let's say I have the microphone, which I do, and then I want to add music and system and a game. And so if I now were to start all these things up, I can individually lower the volume and sound of all these particular things. And that's because, so let's say for example, you're doing a stream and you're playing a game and you want to commentate on that game. You don't necessarily want the game volume to overpower your voice. Of course, what do? You turn your volume up to amplify other sounds and you amplify everything. Well, with the Wavelink software, you can control all those individually and you can ultimately end up creating, see this stream mix. So if I go to my sound settings now, open my sound settings, you can see I have the microphone in as the Elgato Wave 3, but I could change that to be the Wavelink monitor. I could change that to be the Wavelink devices. And so I can effectively combine my new sound controls into one new sound device as recognized by other products, such as whatever streaming software you might be using, say Twitch Studio or OBS Studio, things like that. So that's the Elgato Wave 3, which is this awesome microphone. But also, let me show you, this is fantastic. This is the Elgato Stream Deck. Now, you've probably seen this if you watch a lot of streamers, but let me tell you a bit about it. So you can see the software here, and actually you can see that software mirrors this. So far on the device I have one button that says welcome. What's really nice as well is even if you don't have a Stream Deck, you can still use the software, because if you have a Corsair keyboard with special keys, you can assign actions to those using this software. So here on my Corsair keyboard, I've already mapped G2 to some children laughing. If I push that key on my keyboard, you can hear that. It doesn't always have to be sound. I've assigned some settings to change particular sound device properties. So, to use my headphones, I can push a button. To use a particular speaker and microphone, push another button. We'll come back to what these things do. So, but changing device, here's the Stream Deck. So this Stream Deck currently has nothing. Let us put a sound across for the moment. So, let's see. Where is, here we go. So look, you can see lots and lots and lots of actions you can assign. Game capture, soundboard. So okay, so we'll drag a play audio button over there, but also change profiles, set timers, do brightness, sleep, do all sorts of things, open up system things, tweet from a button press, turn your computer on and off, do control all sorts of things, So we'll look at that more in a moment. But for now, I've made a button and it can play a file. The only file so far is that children laughing, so I could play that, or of course I could browse elsewhere. That's the only file I have in that Elgato library. If I click, if I click here, I can browse my libraries. That's what I want to do. So if I browse the sound effects library, for example, here we can see all sorts of things. So this looks exciting. Cinematic whoosh. Or a micro air swoosh. I didn't even hear that. Okay, very subtle. Clapping. Okay, so maybe I like that clapping, so I'll download that. Okay, and I could download all sorts of sound effects, all sorts of music. So, clock ticking. Let's download that one as well, why not? Now, while that's doing that, of course, here's a music library, all sorts of music. Of course, you're not limited to only these sounds that Elgato provide you. You can put all sorts of other things in there, but also you can decorate the product with different icons, all sorts of plugins, and here is where we add more power to it. So you saw that there was an impressive list of things that we could drag across. Here's where we can add more and more and more. You could add Spotify integration and control Spotify with a single button press, or Discord chat, or OBS tools, or Twitch tools, or Windows tools. Control your Philips Hue lighting, control your Zoom. So if you do a lot of Zoom meetings, you might like to have one button that turns your camera on or off, or changes all sorts of things. So I've added that Zoom plugin. If I go back to our product here, so first of all, there's our sound effect. Now we didn't select anything, but if I choose, now I've got all these other options. And you can see on the device itself, that icon is now there. So at one press, I can bring up clapping. Oh, thank you, you're too kind. So, but also you'll see our Zoom plugin has been added. So if I wanted, I could have a one press thing to mute Zoom, or to turn my video on or off, or, well, why not, leave the meeting. So actually here's a useful one. Ask everybody to mute themselves. Oh no, was that unmute? Anyway, so okay, so these are, you can do all sorts of things, and as you see, it's building up here on the Stream Deck itself. So very simple. There's this huge library of things that you can add, all sorts of functions you can do, and what's more, they don't have to be single actions. If I choose Stream Deck, here we go, one that we could have a multi-action, for example. So multi-action, do lots of stuff, whatever it may be. If I and now see it says drag an option, so maybe I might make this play some audio, then display some text on the screen, whatever. Send a tweet, change the profile of my iCUE software, use the Hue integration to change some lights, then maybe stop all the audio, something like that. So you could make a whole heap of actions all from one button. So there's there's no shortage of things you can do here. Really, it's up to your whole creativity. I think it's awesome, don't you? That deserves a clap. Yeah, see, push the button. So this is how the streamers do it. They use great microphones like this to blend all their sound together. They use great device like this Stream Deck, the Elgato Stream Deck. It's just incredible. Lots of buttons that you can program in so many different ways, and not only that, you can set up huge amounts of profiles. You can change. There's no and multiple pages as well. If I add a page, suddenly you see we have an arrow here now. So boom, and then I can go back to that other page. But you can see this bottom right icon here has been replaced there. And of course, it doesn't have to be there. We could, just like everything, drag that around, go back to page one, drag that around, and of course that's what's reflected on the device. So huge amounts of functionality. Stream Deck is just awesome, and really the only limitations are what you can imagine. In fact, if we go back to sorry, just trying to remember how I get back to the if I click on sounds and choose sound effects library, there is a better way, but nevertheless, here we go, discover. This is what I wanted to show you. This is the Elgato store or marketplace, and really, even though it says store, I haven't really found anything here that I wanted that cost anything. There's just huge amounts of things that you can do, all sorts of plugins you can discover. You can get inspiration from what other people are doing. Really terrific. and then browse through your plugins. So business tools, take control of PowerPoint, update your Slack status. Developers, you can integrate it with Visual Studio, all sorts of things. So GitHub, Azure Pipelines, really is a tremendous product that allows you to do huge amount of things simply by clicking a button. In fact, you can also make it a display, another monitor for you. Have a stock ticker that will show you live at a glance on one of your buttons what your current stock prices are, or elsewhere, your IP address, all sorts of things. Smart home. Anyway, there's just no shortage of things you can do here, and there's more and more integrations coming all the time. So this Stream Deck by Elgato is just awesome and incredible. The Wave 3 Elgato Wave 3 mic and flexible arm, also awesome. You can hear me really clearly. There's noises in the background, but it's stripping them out because of the cardioid pickup. So anyway, that's that. These are some awesome, really great equipment by Elgato. And whether you want to be a streamer or just make your own great presentations, or simply have control over your computer with one touch, things to turn on and off microphones and cameras, play some music or not play some music, adjust your lighting, chain actions together, look at your stock price at a glance, the Stream Deck is for you as well. So thank you so much.